I put a spell on you. Because you're mine.
You know, this back and forth bullshit is getting to me. I'm not saying I like the idea of being shot at all the time, but at least there was the excitement of finding unexpected shit, like a homemade weapon or a pair of novelty boxes nobody would ever want. This, on the other hand, is just predictable. The woman back at the outpost didn't tell me the full story. If this is what it's like being a caravaner, then fate did her a favor, frankly. I didn't get shot in the head just to go back to delivering shit again. The fuck? We have a lab in here?
A little busy at the moment, but I can talk.
I thought they were joking when they told me there's a research department in here. The last time science and the military got together in a big way, we ended up with the atomic bomb. And boy, was that kid a cheeky little bastard. Please tell me that's not what this place is about.
This? The OSI lab. We don't get many visitors. The smell puts people off, I think. Nobody ever said science would smell clean and fresh. Anyway, you get used to it if you give it some time.
Wait, so you guys are working on chemical warfare instead? Well, I guess this wasteland isn't quite messed up already. Let's give the old girl a few more kicks, shall we? And fuck me, you're not even wearing a gas mask. What the hell kind of scientist are you?
I know I don't sound the part. Get raised by Brahmin ranchers and you never lose the twang. Drives Hildern crazy. But I know every inch of the power grid from Hoover Dam to Shady Sands. That's what we do here. Try to optimize the power output from the dam. Some of the others are working on an agricultural project, but truth be told, they aren't making much progress. Not yet, anyway.
And the rest are working on how to incinerate people's lungs from the inside out by spraying them with gas. So what do you do here? Greet the visitors before a couple of troopers knock us out and turn us into new test subjects? If that's the case, then be warned, my robot is set to self-destruct if you try anything. That is what you do, right? I'm just guessing here.
Head researcher. Mostly on the dam project, but I help out on other things when they need me. Gotta be flexible.
So you're insisting on the dam story, are you? Fine, I'll play along. But if you do need test subjects, I'll be happy to help. By which I mean I'll be happy to capture a few fiends for you to study on. I would offer legionaries instead, but they tend to die a lot when I'm around.
You mean give you work? No, that'd be up to the administrator, Hildern. He's back there in his office. Between you and me, I don't think he ever leaves. Plenty of mercs go in to see him, though.
Mercenaries? Holy shit, you guys really are rounding up test subjects. So what are they used for? Is it forced mutation? That was always a popular choice before my time.
I can't say. We're not supposed to talk about the research. Not the details. If you're interested, I'm sure he'd see you.
Oh, I think I will see him. I have an invoice for him anyway, but this might end up with something interesting after all.
Nice to meet you. If you need anything, I'm almost always in the lab.
Well, you seem awfully nice for someone who gas test subjects every day. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but it would not surprise me at all if the NCR has some kind of research department dedicated to weapons of mass destruction. I mean, hell, they won't even have to do much work themselves. God knows how much research was done in the old world that was dedicated on creating more ingenious ways to exterminate your fellow man. You gotta think in terms of efficiency, right? But of course, you should know all about that, right, Director?
A pleasure to meet you. I'm Dr. Thomas Hildern, Director of Operations, OSI East. I presume you're here about Vault 22?
I suppose if that's what this invoice is about. You didn't buy a Vault from the Crimson Caravan, did you? If so, I hope you had a decent survey team, because some of those things were not built to specification. Alternatively, this could be completely irrelevant, but I'm just a courier. What do I care? Here it is either way.
From Alice. I'll see that she's paid right away. Crimson Caravan runs a tight operation. Even out here in the waste, wouldn't do to keep them waiting. Was there anything else? Or were you just here about the invoice?
Well, I'm going to assume that invoice had nothing to do with Vault 22. God, first 3 and now 22. What the hell is with the NCR and Vaults? Humanity was meant to leave them behind once the fallout was over. Well, at least that's what the commercial said. So go on then, tell me what's going on.
Wonderful. Straight to it then. Have you signed the release forms? No? Doesn't matter. We'll keep that to ourselves.
Right.
Vault 22. Where to begin?
Wait a minute. I just want to know what the big deal is. I'm not signing anything official yet. Don't you try to screw me over. Are you a scientist or a bureaucrat? So I guess you're gonna give me a lecture now. If so, cut back on the technical bullshit. If I wanted to learn about science, I would be wearing a lab coat, not the blood of my enemies.
Imagine, if you will, the wasteland in bloom. Vast fields of corn that grow from seeds and produce their bounty in the space of a month. Orchards of trees, their branches weighed halfway to the ground, hung with fat, ripe oranges, a harvest that could feed a city or a nation. And all this, requiring no more than a few drops of precious water and the efforts of only a handful of human farmers. Impossible?
I don't know, but it sounds like you're trying to sell me something, and I don't like salesmen. But if that was a hypothetical question, then I would say no. Shit, even the pre-war farmers probably couldn't do what you were describing there, and they didn't have to use their own excrements as fertilizer.
A realist. We have that in common. A year ago, I'd have said the same. But what if I was to tell you that the wasteland can yield an endless bounty, and that the secret may lie a mere few miles from where we stand? We need only reach out and take it, and for that, I need you.
In that case, I would say you should stop testing drugs on yourself, Doctor. It's clearly not good for you.
Skepticism can be forgiven, but I think you'll come around if the reports I've heard are true. I believe that the inhabitants of Vault 22 unlock the secrets of vegetative growth. Plants are spilling from their gate. No one tends them. No one waters them. Yet they multiply and spread in all directions. Find the reason for this miraculous growth, and I promise you the OSI will see that you are generously compensated.
Now that bit I might believe in, but I don't know, a part of me still feels uncomfortable with the idea of going into vaults, let alone one that's overgrown with plants. On the other hand, there should be some decent loot in there, so I'll certainly keep this offer in mind. But I'll be working within my own schedule, okay?
Good. No need to check in with the NCR authorities. I can authorize your payment from OSI accounts. Vaults typically contain a server room on a lower level, where they would have backed up their research data. A computer room, you understand? Download all the information on the central server to your Pip-Boy, and you'll be certain to bring me any notes or samples that you find, won't you?
I guess, but know this, anything else valuable in there are all mine, you hear me? It's my insurance in case you refuse to pay me. It's just the way I do business. So, is there anything else I should know, or is that all?
I thought it was a fairly straightforward assignment. It's a simple question of retrieving the data, which shouldn't prove overly challenging. Downloading the data will be handled by your Pip-Boy. You might think of yourself as a mere means of conveyance. No insult intended, of course.
Oh yeah, I was wondering when you would start questioning my competence. After all, I don't have your credentials now, do I? Well, let me tell you what I do have. Experience. You'll be hard-pressed to find anyone who's done as much random shit as I have. Hell, how long do you think the NCR would have lasted against the Legion if it wasn't for contractors like myself?
To be frank, I have no idea. I leave the fighting to Colonel Shu, and I expect him to leave the science to me. Too many people have opinions on things they know nothing about. And the more ignorant they are, the more opinions they have.
Excuse me? Now you're saying I'm ignorant? You know, I might just grab that data and sell it to the highest bidder. I don't know what you think your precious OSI is capable of, but if the Legion can't screw with me and get away with it, then neither can you. So what is the OSI responsible for anyway? You must be important to get your own lab here.
The Office of Science and Industry. It's a rather expansive topic. I could talk for hours, but I'm sure I'd bore you. Suffice to say, we are the leading edge of the NCR. Our work focuses on practical matters, medicine, engineering, biology. The dam, for instance. OSI routes its energy supply to our cities in the West. That's only one responsibility of this office.
And what are the other responsibilities? Human testing? Whatever it is, it can't be that intensive. Your lab is a little bit small now that I think about it.
We aid some programs the Republic has sponsored involving sharecropper farms in the area. But those haven't panned out too well from what I hear. There have been complaints about the amount of water we're supplying. But those are just excuses for lack of diligence, I'm sure.
I'm actually not surprised. There was nobody working there when I passed through. Then again, you should do something about it. You can't expect the workers to put the effort in if the bosses don't do the same thing. By the way, your assistant out there mentioned the dam. I don't suppose you control it from here, do you? I doubt the old world would connect the dam to the airport.
Directly? No. But we attempt to maximize its output. You have no idea how difficult it is to provide power to an entire nation. Fortunately, we also have the Helios 1 facility. One of our external contractors recently got the station up and running. His name was something like Exceptional or Marvelous or...
No. Try the Courier, and yes, you're looking right at him.
I see. Of course you did.
You what? You don't know about that? What? That doped up motherfucker? Well, Now I have a new reason to visit that place again. Somebody's gonna get gray matter smeared all over his sunglasses. And in any case, you gave him the job. You're supposed to be the director of the OSI. Did he suck your dick during the interview or something? What the fuck?
Director of the entire OSI? Me? If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to plant seditious ideas in my head. No, I direct our Eastern operations. I've been responsible for squeezing unprecedented levels of power from the dam. I'm also confronting the problem of food production in what little spare time I have. But I've found some promising leads.
Promising? Yeah, the same kind of promising as that fantastic guy. I'm starting to have my doubts again. In that case, you might want to double check your figures. For all you know, the NCR might not even have food shortages.
Not yet, but our government understands the value of proactive thought. Our studies project an imbalance between production and consumption. Or, for a layman such as yourself, not enough food, too many mouths to feed. Mass starvation in a decade or so.
Yeah, I know what that means. And yet, despite all this, the NCR is still trying to expand. I've got a solution for you right now. How about you secure the land you already have and introduce this wonderful thing we call contraception? But I guess common sense isn't welcome here. And thanks to that, you're handling all this on your own.
Yes, with the assistance of my team, of course.
As if that makes it any better. You're not just wasting your own time, you're wasting everyone else's. Well, I guess if I ever find the time, I'll check out the vault. But in the meantime, do try and think outside the box. It's what you scientists are supposed to be good at.
Yes, goodbye.
Yeah, I'll leave you to your work. Honestly, can I not meet at least one person in the NCR who's got a bit of common sense? I guess I already met people with initiative, so...
Even the stupid NCR is investing in new research. We're getting left in the dust.
Okay, you really need to stop doing that.
Hey, you got a second?
Depends on what you want to talk about. No, screw that. I do know what you want to talk about, but I do not want to talk about it here.
Okay. Well, when you do, let me know, alright?
Christ, Veronica, common sense.
Did Dr. Hildern... This really isn't any of my business, but... Did he give you a job?
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Either way, you're not getting that job now, so why so interested?
Not interested. More concerned. It's just... You're not the first person he sent to Vault 22. And I know he'd never tell you. There were a lot of mercs. One after another. None of them came back. Then about a week ago, there was a scientist, Keeley. She's unusual. Not the sort of person you'd expect. But she's an absolute genius. And he didn't mention her? Not even her name? Or any of the other mercs?
No, he did not. You're implying a lot of things right now, so you know what? Could be paranoid, but I think I'm gonna have another talk with this guy.
No, wait. I don't mean to see any harm come to Dr. Hildern. Unless by talk, you just mean talk. Listen, I make a fair wage, but I'm not rich. Not by any means. Maybe my kind of money wouldn't appeal to your average merc. But I'm willing to pay you if you'll find Keeley and make sure she's safe. Isn't right leaving her out there. No idea if she's alive or dead.
An employer who doesn't care if his employees live or die? Am I supposed to be shocked by that? Look, I don't know what time period you think you're living in, but I'm guessing it's close to the same period as our hairstyle. But since you're so willing to offer cash, I might as well try.
That's all I ask. She might even be able to help you. As long as you don't speak too well of Dr. Hildern.
Oh, trust me, I won't. That guy has his head so far up his ass he could probably remove his own appendix with his teeth. So why is this Keeley so special anyway?
Keeley's brilliant. An absolute genius. She plays at being mean, but it's all a front. When you've lived as long as she has, you get defensive around new people. Who wants to make a friend when you know you'll outlive them?
So the alternative is to stay on your own? I can't see how that would drive someone mad. Wait a minute, how old are we talking here?
I couldn't get her to say, but she talked about the war. The Great War, when the bombs fell, like she'd been there. So I'm guessing pretty old. 200 years? Maybe more.
What the fuck? Is that even possible? Unless she's a ghoul. Those guys have come a long way since the days they used to get shot on sight. God, how does someone like that get along with a guy like Hildern?
Like a Brahmin and a Deathclaw, though I'm not sure which would be which. Bad analogy, maybe. They're both Deathclaws in their way. Keeley hates Hildern. She says he's more politician than scientist, and gets in the way of true discovery. And Hildern hates Keeley because... well, because every time they meet, she makes him look like an ass. In front of important people, usually.
Well, I guess technically she is his senior in age, if nothing else. I do like how we're talking about him even though he's literally in the next room. But judging by how you're not exactly hushing yourself, I don't suppose you're Dr. Hilder's #1 fan either.
The director? He's very well spoken and knowledgeable.
Oh, now you're suddenly being careful with your choice of words. It's a bit late for that. But considering how he's not rushing out here in a blood-boiled rage right now, I'm guessing he doesn't give a shit what you think. Personally, I think the guy would probably steamroll straight through a dozen people if it means it'll get him some recognition. Like me.
He's not what you'd call warm, unless he wants something from you. And even then, it's kind of a cold warm. Most of the time, I focus on the science and try to forget him. He doesn't get mixed up in any actual work, though he tells people that he does.
He doesn't? Wow, this keeps getting better and better. At first he's just a regular dickhead with a body that's just big enough to support his apparently enormous head, but now he's also taking credit for other people's work?
He sure does. Everyone knows it. I've just got to endure this job until the project is finished. But abandoning Keeley, he crossed a line. Taking credit for other people's work is one thing. Sending people to die in the waste is another. If Hildren tries to recruit any more mercs, I'm gonna warn them. What can he do to me? I'm the only one who can run this lab.
You mean you're the only one who knows where to get more test subjects? Honestly, the only scientist I've met so far who isn't completely mad is that Follows of the Apocalypse guy, and even he was cryptic as fuck.
My father used to say good things about them, but that was years ago. Back when they teach farmers and ranchers about crop rotation and the like. Nowadays, they've changed. They're doing what they can to discredit the NCR, give us a bad name with the locals. Dr. Hildren trained with them years ago. Not me, though. I'm an OSI girl.
To be honest, I don't think the NCR needs any help when it comes to getting a bad name. Even the soldiers are probably sick of it all. And you know what I love about this whole situation? The biggest blessing they've had for God knows how long happens to be one of their greatest critics. Well, I guess I should get going now. I've got so many things going on, I don't even know where to begin.
Right. Stay safe.
As if that's ever gotten me anywhere.
Evening.
So now I'm even helping out scientists. My resume is starting to make me sound like some kind of a superhero at this point. It would be easier to list things I haven't done so far. To be fair though, I was already helping scientists back at Helios 1, but I guess I never worked directly for one until now. And you know what? It turns out they're just as obnoxious as NCR officers. What the hell is wrong with this world? The people at the very top are just as rotten as those near the bottom. The OSI director is just as willing to stab people in the back as that Contreras guy. Now, I haven't got direct proof of the latter yet, but that little weasel literally reeks of treachery. The moment I'm sure he's not the mole, I'm just gonna turn him in. Either that or once I've leached away every last cap he's got, whichever comes first really. You can't expect to survive long in a world full of scum without knowing how to be one yourself. Now, some people might start quoting He Who Fights Monsters, but I say only the pros knows how to be a scum only to people who deserves it. Coincidentally, all the people I deem to be scum are either dead or about to be, so what does that tell you? Well, time to let him know about the meat deal. He better appreciate this. Hey, I hope you're not busy serving slop. I've got good news.
Howdy, looking for chow?
No, but I found you some, and chances are your digestive systems will love me for it. Have a look at this. And while you're at it, change the damn menus. We're having meat and spices next week.
You managed to swing us a discount and cover the majority of the meat supply we need. Good work.
You fucking bet it's good work, you lucky old bastard. I'm literally taking care of problems from the top of the NCR hierarchy all the way to the bottom. Never let it be said that I discriminate against background and rank. So, back to dealing with Contreras. Should I be worried that I'm starting to make as much money out of running errands for this guy as I did taking care of one of the bounties for Dartree? I should have a word with him about this. Something isn't right. I don't like doing work for nothing, but I like being cheated even less. What I know, I keep to myself. Remember, folks, careless talk costs lives. Unless, of course, you have a mole in the base, in which case you're fucked either way. Oh wow, more posters. The NCR needs you strong! Do not eat irradiated food! Talk to your NCR medical officer about how you can reduce and avoid dangerous and toxic food. Okay, I don't know what's worse. The fact that someone in the committee thought people would actually need to be reminded of something like that, or the fact that someone might have actually died from doing something that stupid to warrant such a reminder. It's a never-ending cycle of idiots and more idiots. What about you, Contreras? What kind of idiot are you supposed to be? I don't really care as long as you're the kind that always pays.
So you're back.
I am, and I have your medical supplies with me. And just so you know, it has not escaped my attention that you can make some pretty hardcore shit with this stuff. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Really? I never noticed that. I'm just following orders here, moving supplies as needed.
Well, just so you know, nobody ordered me to shoot a grade F bullshitter like yourself, but I might do so anyway. Now, the choice is pretty simple. You can either deal with Lieutenant Boyd, deal with my pistol, or you can let the caps do the talking. My suggestion? Choose the least painful path.
You're one pushy son of a bitch, I'll give you that. Alright, here are some caps to keep your mouth shut.
Wise.
There's a lot of money to be made, and I'm not afraid to share it with reliable folks. Just keep the busters out of this, and we're good. So you got the package then? I need to get that sorted and then set off in a few days.
Set off? Are we getting cold feet, Mr. I don't give a fuck that I'm breaking the law as long as there's money involved? Here, take it. And for your information, I can still turn you over whenever I want, so you better keep your end of the bargain.
See, you're practically stealing caps from me. This work is so easy. There's one more job. It's a little more complicated, but I think you're up to it. I need to get some stuff sorted around. Gonna take me a day or two, so just stop back in a few days.
Oh, I will. And I know you won't run away anytime soon, for the same reason why a parasite will never run away from the host. You leave the Mojave, and you lose your only source of income. I understand your type better than you think. Come on guys, let's see if the Crimson Caravan's gonna make me run any more errands. If so, then I will politely refuse before giving them my own offer. And for the record, there's another good reason why he shouldn't try to run. Me.